All right, we're live.
Bam, we're live.
All right. So just a little housekeeping here, a few announcements. Coming up, we do have an adjusted schedule for the workout. Chad, you want to go over that, Colin? What's the deal there?
Yeah, so Chad, as we know, or should know, is a very, very long workout. It's for Chad Wilkinson, who killed himself. And the workout is meant to be kind of like a mental fortitude type of workout. So it's 1,000 weighted box step-ups for time. RX is a 45-pound vest for men and a 35-pound vest for females. So it's a little heavier than your normal vest. And or I believe it's supposed to be a ruck, maybe not a vest.
It's supposed to be a ruck.
Okay. So it's a 45-pound ruck for guys, a 35-pound ruck for ladies for 1,000 box step-ups. So our Chad adjusted schedule is on November 11th, which is the day we'll run it. We've got kind of like just open gym, basically, in the fact that there won't be any classes. We're going to have like a block where a coach will be out there on the floor. So the morning block will be the 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. I'll be there for that. And then the evening will be 4:30 p.m. until 7:30 p.m.
Yeah.
And it'll just be like a block for that amount of time. Coach Steph will be there during her normal hours on Tuesday night, and then Coach Josie will be there as well. But just kind of plan accordingly. Chad is a long workout, at least an hour, if not longer, probably closer to an hour and a half. So plan yourselves accordingly, because if you show up at 6:30 p.m. on that Tuesday, the coach will be gone by 7:30. So
yeah, and that's going to be more of like a warm yourself up type deal, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, like we were talking about, the entire thing is going to take you an hour and a half. So it's kind of not really.
Well, you probably don't need an extensive warm up for step ups.
Yes, number one, it's just step ups. Number two, we're not really running like a specified class. It is warm up on your own. You have the block to do it, or however much time that you have to do it. And you can go from there. Obviously, the gym has 24/7 access. I'm just kind of giving you these blocks because that's when a coach will be there. Normal coaching hours, but there won't be like a structured class during that time, because there will be a warm up on the board in case you want to hit a warm up, but I'm not going to run you through the warm up because, man, it's going to take you an hour and a half. It's a long time. I can't fit everything into an hour, so it's tough to run like specified classes that way.
Yeah, that's fair. And just to put off on the side note, that's going to be November 11th, right?
Yes.
And X4 classes are going to be run as normal.
Yes, X4 classes will be run as normal on November 11th, which is a Tuesday. CrossFit will just have these blocks available where there will be a coach on the floor.
Okay, sounds good. All right, then something else we just got in.
Oh, yeah. Shirts are here, guys. The spooky season shirts have arrived. So if you haven't grabbed yours yet, there is a little like Excel spreadsheet on the desk. I probably printed that out a little bit too small, but
yeah.
There's a Excel spreadsheet with your name on it and hopefully what size you got. So just cross your name off when you pick up your shirt and we'll go from there. There will be extras. I would prefer that we get the whole list crossed off before we start selling extras, just in case. But there will be extras available when we're done. I ordered extras of every size, just in case you see it and you really like it, unlike Coach Nolan.
Along those lines too, if you ordered multiple sizes, I did take a look at the sheet. Your name is on there multiple times. So for however many you ordered of each size. So if you need to, cross your name off multiple times to take all the different sizes you got. Other than that, I guess looking up at what the next holidays are with Thanksgiving, what's the schedule for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, so Thanksgiving, we're running it a little bit differently this year, I think, than we did the last couple of years. We are going to have a Thanksgiving class, 8 a.m. X4 and 9 a.m. CrossFit. I believe I'm doing both of those, or coaching both of those on Thanksgiving. Totally fine. And then we're closed Black Friday. So kind of giving coaches a long weekend there. So Thanksgiving, there will be a class. I'll be coaching 8 a.m. and 9 a.m., 8 a.m. X4, 9 a.m. CrossFit on Thanksgiving Day, so that Thursday, and then closed on Black Friday. So no classes all day. Don't forget, we still have 24/7 open gym. There will still be a workout in train. You are more than welcome to come in if you have the time. There just won't be a coach there because I'm going to see my family.
All right. Then getting on to this week, what do we got as far as programming goes? What's our cycle looking like for this week?
Yeah, so switching gears a little bit, we can go into our what we're talking about with programming. We've got our continuation of our other total cycle, so that'll be the bench, overhead squat, and front squat, and power clean. It'll go in that order next week, and they will be on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so back to a slightly more normal schedule since we don't have any named workouts or holidays or anything going on next week specifically. So once again, we'll have a decent amount of time those days to get through your sets. They will be our heaviest working sets so far. I believe we're going to work up to 95% in all three: bench, overhead squat / front squat, and power clean. We'll be working up to 95% for, I believe, a set of 2 and 2 plus. But that'll be our last heavy.
I was going to say, is this our last week before the deload?
Yes.
And then we retest?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll do our last heavy sets this upcoming week, and then week 6 will be our deload reload week, however you want to call it. I almost want to get away from calling it a deload week, because it's only a deload in the strength.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because then you throw in Fran.
Exactly. Not that I'm necessarily going to throw in Fran,
but it has happened.
But it has happened
deload weeks.
On a deload week. So I almost want to get into this habit of calling it more of a reload week instead of a deload week. If it was a true deload week, we wouldn't be doing super intense stuff like that.
That's
We'd be
we I feel like we tend to lay off on the strength and then up the intensity on the workouts.
Yes, that is exactly what I do. Yeah. Actually, that's why I need to get away from saying deload. I need to start calling it a reload, because I think a deload just kind of gets you guys more into the opposite mindset of what I want, and that we're taking it easy this week as opposed to we're still sending it on the Metcons. Because even though it'll be 50 or 60% once again on the strength workouts or the strength pieces, I'm still going to want you to absolutely send it on the Metcons, and the Metcons might be a little bit harder than we've even seen so far going into that upcoming week. So they'll be the hardest Metcons of the cycle paired with the easiest strength of the cycle, which is
a give and take.
A little bit of a give and take. So it should, in theory, be a normal week of maybe overall volume / intensity, but obviously we're taking away from the strength and we're trying to up the intensity on the workout. But that's that's a story for next week.
Another time. But looking into the week and our key focuses, what are we looking at? Say Tuesday, Thursday. What's the 2 focuses there? What are we looking at?
Yeah. So we can even extrapolate that to basically the rest of the week.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't noticed, our outside of the other total focus has been grip, one way or another. So this week, Tuesday, we'll see a weighted pull-up, which will be...
Ooh, I saw that. I'm looking forward to that one, actually.
A weighted pull-up. That'll be an interesting one on Tuesday. So that's our strength, which you need grip strength for. I don't know if you had realized this, but hanging with extra weight typically requires a little bit of grip strength. Then we've got Thursday is a partner workout this upcoming week. Along with Saturday is also a partner workout. So we've got 2 partner workouts going on next week. However, the give and the take here is that Thursday and Sunday are kind of bouncing off of each other, in that Thursday will be a high skill workout. So we've got toes to bar, handstand push-ups, a little bit more along those lines. And on top of that, Saturday will also be a little bit more high skill. It'll be a little bit of bar muscle ups and stuff like that to kind of go along with our high rep dynamic gymnastics, which we always try to hit on a little bit every week. The key with Thursday and Saturday is that the amount of hanging work on Thursday will be extreme, and then Saturday you'll see the bar muscle ups mixed with a farmer's carry, or a suitcase carry, excuse me. So you and your partner will have to be carrying around the gym a kettlebell at certain different points to work on that grip. Then with Sunday, we'll kind of finish off the week, hopefully by feeling a little bit better. with a 5,000 meter buy-in on the C2 bikes across the board, male and female. And then however much time you have remaining in the 25-minute window, it will be some low skill body weight. So that'll be like push-ups and sit-ups and stuff like that. Now you can scale that up for GHDs if you really want to, but the point is the low skill, we're just kind of going to move to make you feel a little bit better here. Because I do believe that if we're looking at this, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday will all still be pretty intense, as opposed to sometimes we have Thursday be a slightly less intense day.
Yeah.
But if you treat a partner workout right, it can be very intense, because that's kind of the point of what we're going for there. I've always said that a partner workout is meant to be more intense than an individual workout, because there shouldn't be much pacing when you're the one working.
Yes.
When you're working, you should be moving.
Yeah.
Not slowly.
Yeah. So, because you have that break that is coming up when the other person is working.
Exactly. Like you know that you're going to have built-in rest. You might as well send it to try and get the best time. Why are we not? You have rest. I know the workout doesn't say that you have rest, but you have rest because your partner's going to work in eventually.
Yeah. So that's what we got coming up for this week as far as programming goes. Anything else that we're missing on that? Pretty much covers it, right?
Yeah, I think that's pretty good on what we've got going on there. You guys know if you have any questions on this, that feel free to ask either of us. We are both up to date on our next week of programming. All right. So I think that settles it for the programming focus. Let's talk about our nutrition theory this week.
Yeah. So
with Coach Nolan.
Yeah, with Coach Nolan. No, this week we were going to talk about water, right? And a lot of people, when you think about water, first thing that comes to mind, they're H2O, right? Like, what is water? Right? People say H2O, but it's not necessarily the case. In nature, you're not going to find H2O out in the wild. That's the chemical compound, right? If you could strip it to that, maybe with reverse osmosis filter, but water is known as what's called like a universal solvent. So it binds to other things. Water, like in nature, you're going to find it attached to minerals, attached to different electrolytes, things like that you'll find in the water that gives you not only like energy, but also information too. So it's really deep and really important for us, especially nowadays, because there's, according to the CDC, 75% of Americans are chronically deficient or chronically dehydrated, I should say, in their water consumption, right?
Hey, did you guys know this guy's pretty smart? So along those lines then, what are we looking at for like daily needs of water?
So for your daily needs, it's going to be a little bit different for you as an individual and have a few different factors on it, right? Like, how much do you weigh? What is your activity level? What are you doing throughout the day, right? So I like to say a good baseline, if we want to give you like an RX workout or like an RX prescription for water, right? You're going to take half your body weight in ounces, and that's going to be your baseline. So if you're in pounds, right? So say you weigh 100 pounds, right? Your RX would be 50 ounces. So 100 pounds goes to 50 ounces. And then from there, you can kind of go up or down depending on what you're doing, right? If you're doing really intense workout, if you're working outside a lot, you're sweating, or you're in a sauna, or you're getting a massage, go ahead to throw it on like a couple 30 ounces or something like that, or give or take. If you're really not doing anything all day, you just sat and laid in bed all day, you might probably going to need a little bit less. So it's not necessarily one size fits all. A lot of people hear like the 8 glasses a day, so that's 8 ounces times 8, so it's 64 ounces, half a gallon, right? That's typically the medical recommendation that you get from doctors, but it's not personalized for you and for you as a person, right? And what your specific needs are. A lot of people are more dehydrated than they are overhydrated. So I would rather you be in that quote unquote overhydrated a little bit more than you need rather than less than what you need.
Do you know if there's any sort of like calculation or anything that like people can do to like kind of calculate how much water they need besides the body weight? So like, is there anything that you know of that takes into account like how active you are?
So if you're talking about like calories burned or something like that, not like necessarily like a calculator, and I don't think we need to be that like neurotic about it. where we're really like, okay, I got this many ounces, I need to get exactly this many. If we're getting close to the right amount of ranges that we need to be in, then we're probably doing pretty good. But I would say if we're in a condition where we're sweating a lot constantly, say for like an hour to 2 hours, like add on another 30 ounces, right? Or if we're in some type of thing, probably go up by increments of maybe like about 30 ounces.
I guess that's what I was going to ask.
As a rough goal, like not necessarily having to be perfectly meeting it, but if we're getting close to that ballpark, that's probably going to be pretty good for us.
Gotcha. So then just for clarity, say what did I just weigh in? 203 on the scale over there. So if I'm 203 pounds, I should be shooting for like 101 ounces of water a day.
Yeah, there is like a point of diminishing returns. You're really close there, but I would say if you're over 200 pounds, just go ahead and cap it at 100 ounces and then go from there. Go up or down from there depending on activity levels and different things you got going on for the day. So, I mean, like, because if you have somebody who's morbidly obese, like weighs 500 pounds, I'm not necessarily telling them to drink 250 ounces of water a day. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Which we will get into here in a second. But I do want to specify for clarity that, so like you're saying that 100 ounces is like a good cap to have almost no matter what weight.
Right. Yeah. On the higher end of that, to cap it like there as like your baseline. So then from there you would go up or down depending on what you're doing for the day.
Gotcha. Yeah. So if I was, like say I just did the workout that I just did where I was sweating pretty profusely, right? Yeah. So would you suggest that I go up another 30 ounces for the day?
Yeah. I mean, that would put you right about a gallon.
Yeah. So. Okay. So because that's what I was going to get into, is that I've always heard that a gallon a day is like a decent recommendation for somebody who's pretty active, even just for like bodybuilders in general, or like, before I was even in the CrossFit space, that was like the kind of typical thing that you hear in a gym is the people that carry around those water jugs.
Yeah.
So like in along those lines, like most bodybuilders, I guess, are of the male, are around 200 pounds, if not slightly heavier. So they're capping it at 100, and then if that bodybuilder considers themselves active at all, then 130, which would put you right at
128 is a gallon.
128 is a gallon.
So yeah, and like that's great advice like for them, but again, that's not like personalized, right? So I mean, we got like some smaller ladies here who are going to be weighing less than 100 pounds, and like that's going to be maybe a bit overkill for them, right? Yeah. And their needs. So it all is going to depend on you and where you're at.
Which kind of brings you into the next topic of, should we only drink when we're thirsty? Like, how do we figure this out? Like, how do we know when to consume?
Right. So in a perfect world, right, like there would be signs that we can clue in on, like 1, being thirsty, 2, maybe like the color of your pee, different things like that. There are different clues that your body's going to send you, be like, okay, I do need to drink here. And in a perfect world, that's all we need. But nowadays, it seems like for most people, we're very kind of disconnected from our body and from those thirst slash hunger cues, right? So a lot of times when people are hungry, they're really thirsty, and they're mistaking that hunger for thirst, or that they're mistaking the thirst for hunger, I should say. So they end up eating instead of drinking, which is what their body really wants them to do, is wants them to drink. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times, sometimes we can't 100% rely on that for us, maybe, or at least not yet, or not in this moment. So that's where like the waters can get kind of muddied there, if you see what I just did there. You like that?
Oh, thanks, Dad. Anyway. So like, you're telling me that I got to pay attention to my body.
Yeah, like that's the goal with water, with nutrition, with anything, like, and that's the goal of all type of tracking, whether you're tracking with water, tracking with food. Like, you want to get to the place where you don't need to track, because it's all intuitive, right? You're listening to your body, and your body's telling you exactly what you need. But to get there, a lot of times we do need to track. We do need to be a little bit more aware at first.
Yeah, I think that, you're right. I think being aware is always going to be like the number one thing. If you're not actually aware of how much you're drinking or how much you're eating, you're never going to be able to make adjustments or measurements based on that. You have to be aware, step number one.
Right.
So then along the lines of being aware, can you overhydrate? Is it possible to drink too much water?
Yes. Now, while I say it is possible and really can be quite tragic, you could end up in the hospital. You could end up losing your life, right? You could end up dying from being overhydrated. They call it water intoxication, right? That being said, it is very difficult.
I'm glad to know.
Like that is not something that I would necessarily tell anyone that I know to be worried about.
Yeah.
Now, it would take a special type of person with a special type of mindset to get there, because for about your average person, it's going to take roughly in the ballpark of 4 to 5 gallons of water to get you to that point where you would be hospitalized and possibly even lose your life. So, I mean, if you can get to a gallon, like that's drinking a lot of water.
Drink a lot of water.
Now, getting to 4, peeing pretty often. If you could get to 4 or 5 gallons, I don't know how you did that, but that's impressive. Yeah. At that point, it's almost as if you were drowning.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of water intake. So while you can overhydrate, I wouldn't worry about that as much. I mean, obviously be aware of what you're taking in. Don't try to win and be, I'm going to try and eat. It's not, there is a balance there, right? Mm-hmm. You don't just go and drink, I'm going to drink the most in the world today. No.
But so then if it's possible to overhydrate, but say that I've had close to a gallon of water and I do a high rock style workout or something and I'm still cramping, or like something is going wrong, and like everybody recommends right now drinking some sort of electrolyte drink. Every company has some sort of electrolyte drink. Like, give us the breakdown. Like what are we doing? Why?
Yeah.
Do electrolytes matter? Are they important? What's going on?
Yeah, so they definitely do matter. Electrolytes are minerals, like we talked about how water carries minerals and carries other things in it when it's out in nature, right? Ideally, we're getting a lot of those minerals and a lot of those electrolytes from the food that we eat, but then at the same time, we don't want to, overdo it. There's a balance. For example, you take sodium, for example. That's one that's been vilified, like salt's the silent killer, right? And a reason why is because a lot of people, I want to say it was the FDA had a statistic where about 70% of the amount of sodium in the average American's diet comes from ultra processed food, right? So
sick.
If you're getting all that sodium and the majority of your sodium is coming from that ultra processed food rather than from higher quality sources, then is going to throw off that balance a little bit if you're trying to add on electrolytes there, for sure. And but at the same time, if you're in the bit of a healthier category, if you're probably one of our avid gym goers, is paying attention to their diet, eating, more along the lines of vegetables, fruits, meats, different things like that aren't going to be those ultra processed foods that have all that sodium in it, it can be a really great addition to throw some high quality salts or some different type of electrolytes into your water to give your water that structure that it may be missing and to help you hydrate even better.
Okay. So I guess that makes sense. So we've been talking about overhydrating. We've been talking about drinking when thirsty. We've been talking about electrolytes, but like, how do you track all of that? Like what?
Yeah, so there's a few different ways that you could go about it, right? I tend to be on the side of let's make this as easy as possible. So what I tend to do is I get a big jug, like I got a gallon jug that I fill up, and from there I have a smaller water bottle that I use.
What?
Yep. And that I can carry around with me throughout the day, right? So as I'm doing a podcast, as I'm doing a workout, I can take a swig here and there and keep that going and then refill it from the bigger jug as I need to. So I don't need to count.
This is a podcast?
Okay. Yes.
bigger gallon, bigger thing. Sorry, totally derailed.
But if you have what you're getting for the day already poured out, and then all you have to do is, continue to drink from that. I mean, they sell things like that at Meijer where it gives you like a full breakdown and be like, okay, at this line, this many ounces, this line, this many ounces. Then you can keep track of that way. a lot easier and not having to think. Just be like, okay, I'm just trying to finish this for the day. And that's something that's helped me, made me do it. And again, it's not about necessarily like being neurotic and be like, I have to finish this throughout the day. Like just being like, this is roughly where I'd like to be. And let's see if I get close, or might have to go over, might have to go back home, get some more water.
I guess I mean, that for me, I have my, it's up front right now, but I have my like typical water gallon, and that's a liter of water, I believe. So I try to get 3 of them in a day, which is close to a gallon.
Yeah.
Or as close as I can get to that. The first one always has some sort of electrolytes in it, just to make sure that I don't cramp during any of my workouts, because I've been known to be pretty prone to that, whether it be quad cramps or ab cramps. And so I try to get some sort of electrolytes in. I mean, I eat a very unprocessed diet,
right?
Or I try to, at least.
Yeah. So for you, it might be a good idea to add those in.
Exactly. So I'm as paleo as I can be, I guess. So a lot of whole unprocessed stuff. So not a lot of added sodium, I believe, in my unprocessed foods. So I try to add a little bit into my water, and then I try to get 2 more of them in during the day and sleep it off.
Yeah.
I'm old now though, so I wake up and pee every night anyway. So not that it matters, but which goes along with the lines of, so if I'm waking up and peeing overnight, am I fairly dehydrated? What is there like some sort of viral TikTok morning routine that I need to be doing?
Well, if you're peeing overnight, and waking up in the middle of the night to do it, that may just mean more along the lines of that you're drinking water too late into the night. So you might want to cut that off like a little bit, maybe like an hour before you normally do, to give you that buffer time and get out what you need to before you go to bed, so you're not waking up and having to do it. I mean,
it's been like 3 years, man. It's past that point.
Well, that's the thing too, is that your body is going to remember routines, right? It's be like, okay, this is the time. My inner clock is like, okay, you got to wake up, you got to go to the bathroom. I'm used to this, right? But it's kind of trying to set that back. Get the water, try to reach your goal a little bit earlier in the day might help you, so you don't have to get to that point where you're like, oh man, okay,
I'm busted.
Yeah. So, but as far as the morning routine part of it goes, that is probably one of the best times to get in your water. A mentor of mine called it a morning bath, right? So every morning before you come to work, or at least I do, I don't know about you, I take a shower or a bath.
You take a bath?
No, but people, you wash like the outside of your body, right?
Yeah,
but
I mean, sure.
Do we wash the inside of our body? Because really, in the morning, that's when we're the most dehydrated. Mm-hmm. And overnight, your body's been doing a lot of cleanup, cycling, right? Yeah, a lot of cycling, going through and trying to clean out all the gunk. Like your brain has that lymphatic system that's clean out all the garbage. But then if it just sits there, right, then it's not a great situation, right? You want water, get through, flow, help everything wash out, and get yourself set for the new day. So I would recommend, and maybe even be on the higher side of this, like even trying to chug like just 30 ounces in the morning, really fresh. That'll wake you up too. So,
which brings me to my last question. That's not on our board. Does coffee count? Like I'm mixing water with beans. Like why does it count or does it not?
So yeah,
I think that's the question that a lot of us need to know, Nolan.
That is true. So like when you're talking about different things like that, like coffee, tea, anything that's flavored, while yes, you are getting water from it, it's gonna, like, depending on how much you really want to call it water, like it all depends on kind of what you're putting into it, right? So if we're having like a Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks iced coffee that's like
30% cream.
I was gonna say 30% cream and 60% sugar. Like, I don't know if I'd call it water, but I mean, like it can help hydrate you. At the same time, coffee itself is more of what they call a diuretic, right? So that's something to also take into account, that it might not help as much as water would.
Yeah, but why? Why would a diuretic not help?
Because that's going to dehydrate you or make you need to go to the bathroom, right? So, I mean,
explain that word more. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, so diuretic is going to be more along the lines of, I hate to say it, like diarrhea, but like, at the same time, make you like won't need to go to the bathroom. But I mean, that'll help.
It makes your system go faster.
Right. And I'm not trying to bash coffee or say don't drink coffee. Coffee can be great. It can be, right? It's a lot of things we put into it, right?
Exactly.
And where I'm not saying drink the water in place of the coffee, drink it with the coffee. Have the water, then like you're probably going to need your coffee to get through your 5 a.m. class. So have your coffee. Like I don't want to see you without it.
I'm
like,
just saying.
Like I'm a little worried about you sometimes.
I need my 16 ounces of black coffee and honey. Okay, just let me think that it helps.
And that's fine. Like I said before, it's not about being neurotic about it. It's about making sure that we get an adequate amounts. And then if we're having other drinks, that's fine, right? Yeah. But at the same time, not making those other drinks the priority and the main thing over water. Yeah. Really, by weight and by volume, like water should be the most of what we intake in a day. Like if you're drinking about a gallon of water, like you're not eating that much food. Yeah. You're not drinking that much of anything else, right? So that really should be the main staple of what we're having in the day.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Good?
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, scratch the surface.
Yeah.
I could talk about
I was going to say, we try to keep these podcasts on the shorter side. So, I mean, one way or another, if you guys do have any questions about this, by all means, feel free to ask us those questions because you know where to find us. And as we've said, we started a podcast because we like to talk. So you might as well make us talk some more if you want to. Specifically me. I guess. With that, guys, I think we're good.